Hello, class, receiving students and teachers. Thank you. You may be seated. Now, recapping on our last lesson, what did we look at? Yes.
What would you like to eat?
What would you like to eat? What would you like to eat was the topic of our previous lesson. Now, in that, we looked at three different kinds of consumers. And what did these three different kinds of consumers eat, or what were the names of these three different types of consumers? Kalen. Name one of those consumers if you can. Receiving students, I hope you are telling your teachers.
Herbivores.
Herbivores, very good. Walter?
Carnivores.
Carnivores. And Michaelin?
Omnivores.
Omnivores. Okay, so we had herbivores, carnivores, and omnivores. The herbivores, what do they mainly eat? Receiving students? Class, what do they mainly eat? Leilin?
Plants.
Plants, good. And Isaac, what do you think the carnivores have? Or what is their main food?
Meat.
Meat. Right, Madeline, what do the omnivores eat?
Both plants and other animals.
Right, the omnivores eat both plants and other animals. Receiving students, I hope you got that as well as the model class. Okay, good. Now, today's topic. Our today's topic is, whose pyramid is this? Now, looking at a picture on that topic, what can you see? What can you see? Receiving students, what can you see? The picture below the topic for today. Class, Tara, what can you see on the screen? Receiving students, while you are telling your teachers, we are going to hear from Tara what she thinks is on the picture. What do you see?
Pyramid.
Pyramid. Okay, it's pyramid. Right, that is a pyramid. And in our lesson today, we are going to be looking at something similar to that. Now, if you have been listening to and seen some stories, where would you find this pyramid? Where do you think you find this pyramid? Yes. Ruthie.
Egypt.
Egypt. The pyramid is found in Egypt. Good. In our lesson for today, we will be looking at pyramids like that, but it is a different type of pyramid. The pyramid will consist of different animals feeding on different things and the number they make up on the pyramid. Today we will be looking mainly on biomass. while looking at pyramid, we will look at this word here, biomass. Biomass. That is a big word, isn't it? Okay, what is a biomass? Biomass. This word here. Okay, biomass. Biomass consists of two words. Now let's hear from Begley. Receiving students, you may also tell your teacher. Begley, what do you think biomass is?
Biomass means a living thing.
Biomass means a living thing. Very good. Very, very good. Kalen, what do you think?
The total weight of living things in an area.
Thank you. Biomass, of course, it's dealing with living things, as Begley has said. And biomass is referring to the total amount of living things in an area. Okay, so in here we have two words there. Bio, B-I-O, meaning living thing, and mass, M-A-S-S, meaning a total. So it is a total number of living things in a particular area. That is biomass. Now, the pyramid that we are going to be looking at in today's lesson will look somewhat like this, where you have producers there at the bottom. It sort of looks kind of a pyramid, the Egyptian pyramid, but at the bottom you have all the producers. And then apart from that, the next level to that pyramid is you have primary consumers, or those who will eat that producer first. In this case, most of the producers are, what do you think most of those producers will be? Remember your photosynthesis lesson? They are all, Tara, what are they?
Plants.
They are all plants. Good. Most of them are all, nearly all of them are plants. Now, after the primary consumers, we have the secondary consumers. Those are the ones that eat the first consumers, and they become the secondary consumers or second consumers. And right at the top, we have the third consumers or the tertiary consumers. They are right at the top of the pyramid. Now, looking at that pyramid, if this were, we are looking at it in this way, but if there were numbers given, this is representing that there are many of them down there, thousands of them, maybe millions of them, maybe hundreds of millions of them. But all those make up a big number of organisms or living things. Now let us look at one example with numbers on them. Okay, so at the bottom there, this is another way of looking at a biomass pyramid. At the bottom you have like a long triangular type, there's primary producers, or this one is mainly looking at under the sea. They're looking at mainly under the sea. The ones that you can see on your screen at the grayish color indicates a number there. See if you can see what number is written right at the bottom of the screen there. Okay. That is 1 million kilograms. Good. 1 million kilograms. That is made up of all the small plants in the ocean. Next to it, just above that gray rectangle, you have a cube, a square cube there. Now that is made up of other little herbivores in the sea. And how many are there? How many can you see there? 100,000. Okay, so you have 1 million and then 100,000. And the little rectangular box just above that, in light greenish color, 10,000. There's about 10,000 of them. They are carnivores. These are all shrimp, like prawns. They're like shrimp. Okay, shrimps are like prawns. And the whitish, smaller, can you see it's getting smaller, like the flagpole? That whitish there. Those are mid-level carnivores. How many are there? 1,000. They are the large fish. And finally, you have that small black end right at the top there, the top carnivore, which is the shark. And there are how many of them there? It weighs about 100 kilograms. Okay. The main thing on this, once that I have showed you, is the number. Did you see how the number was going? Class? Model students? Did you see the number of kilograms in each of those? Weight? The weight of it? What was at the very bottom? 1 million. 1 million. That was right at the bottom. Producers. And then the next one. Followed by 100,000. And then followed by 10,000. Good. Which was followed by 1,000. And finally we had 100. And the number went up the pyramid like that. Now, if you see, you can see a pattern. Every time it is showing the transfer of energy. So you see, from 1 million, 90% is used up by those little 90% is used up by those little microbes in there, herbivores, and 10% is passed on to this one here. So 10% of 1 million is 10,000. And then it goes up. The number gets lesser and lesser. Meaning that less number of this animal here, less number of probably the shark, it's a lot of large fish. There has to be a lot of large fish to feed the shark. And the large fish, there has to be lots of small fish to feed the large fish. And there has to be a lot of other small microscopic animals to feed the small fish. And of course, to feed those ones, there has to be lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of animals, plants in the sea called planktons. That is why when you go, there is a lot more seaweed in the sea than the fish. Okay, so the number slowly increases. Now let's see an example of a pyramid which is done by a student. Okay, this is called the energy pyramid. You can see that what we looked at earlier on is now put into pictures. Now you can see all those planktons there. They are the primary producers. Small bits and pieces of plants in the water. They have been fed by small crustaceans. On this side, you can see the energy being transferred. Okay, so these ones are fed by small fish called the herring, those small fish. And the energy, when this mackerel comes along and eats the herring, then the energy is transferred there. But it gets smaller and smaller once it gets to the top. And right at the top here, we have the shark. Now, if you can see, the shark is saying, we're big and fierce, but small in number. So you can see that is how a food pyramid is, of that first one that I showed you. Now, very good. Our activity, A, on the pyramid of biomass, which I have here, this is a redrawing of what is in your book. So if the one in your book is not clear, you can probably use this. Now, on this pyramid of biomass, you are to place producers, primary consumers, secondary consumers, or top consumers in your books at those blank spaces that you have in your diagrams. There has to be blank spaces there. Okay, so in your diagram you have a blank space of a pyramid of biomass. Now you place those ones in there. What you're going to do here is, where does primary producers go? Where does carnivores go into? Where does herbivores go into? Those ones. So that is exactly what you're going to be doing. Primary consumers or tertiary consumers or second producers. Although second producers rather, second order consumers. So you put that in there. For those who are confused, on the screen you will see this. Okay, so that is where you are going to place them. Where does the carnivore comes in, or tertiary consumer comes in? Where does the secondary consumer comes in? You clear? Okay, good. Receiving students, likewise, you will be doing the same. On your screen, you can see a pyramid divided into 4 sections there. Now, each of those sections in your books, you are going to be writing down where primary producers will come in, where tertiary producers come in, where tertiary consumers come in, where producers come in, where secondary consumers come in, and so forth. Okay, receiving students and class. Now we're going to have 4 of our friends to fill up the pyramid with the instructions that was given. Let's see. Okay, 4 of our friends are going to come up from the model class and they will be filling in all those blanks there on the board. Right, thank you very much. Let us see our friends' work here. Down here, all agree it is the producers. Very good. Okay, so these are where the producers are. Good. Now, after the producers, we have the primary consumers. Very good. Primary consumers, or we can say first consumers. Or primary consumers. Okay, good. And after that is the secondary consumers or second consumers. And right at the top we have the tertiary consumers or third consumers. So tertiary consumers. So, very good. Right. Receiving students, I hope you had that. Class, if you got it wrong, you may do your corrections as well. Now, below that, there are 2 questions for you to answer. 3 questions. Okay, on that one, we can say first consumers, second consumers, or third consumers, and we have all the producers at the bottom of the biomass. Okay, question number 1. On the pyramid of biomass, name 2 examples of the consumers. These are the pyramid that you are going to be using. If it is not clear in your book, you will see this and then you name the things there, living things there. Use the names of those things that you can see and place them under that. The first one, on the pyramid of biomass, you name 2 examples of first consumers. Can you see that? Okay, quickly name 2 examples of first consumers on the pyramid of biomass that is on the wall or in your books. Now the next one, you will have to name 2 examples of third consumers on the pyramid of biomass. And finally, you will be naming, this time, you name 2 examples of producers. 2 examples of producers. Biomass is the total weight of living things in a particular area. And the next point, bio means living things and mass means total. Good. Now, receiving students and class, what do you think our key word for today is? Michael?
Consumers.
Consumers. Good. Lisa, what do you think it is? Consumers? Yes, we did look at consumers.
Biomass. Biomass.
Biomass. Okay, very good. Our keyword for today is biomass. Next lesson, we will look at chain of life 1. And the materials to bring there are blank flashcards, marking pens, cutout arrows, and strings or nylons. With that, thank you very much, class and receiving students, and you have a nice day with your teacher.